Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside because it's spring. I'm Brian Engelman. Today is Monday, March 30th, 2026. And this right here, the thing that you're watching, is called TNAM Daily Show. TNAM stands for the New American Media, because the old American media has failed you. On today's Strictly Football, I was glancing at our Strictly Football logo. On today's episode of the TNAM Daily Show, we're going to discuss who's putting those Kings protests together. It's a global thing. Neville Singham, George Soros, all the non-governmental organizations, the non-profits, the globalist centers, they push this stuff. Far leftist ideology, communism, Marxism, socialism. And the right had CPAC, Conservative Political Action Committee. Maybe CPAC needs to get out of an auditorium, an arena. Maybe they need to organize a citywide event to do a counterpoint. This has been non-stop riot season, perpetual grievance, spectacle, circus season for a while. How far back do you have to go to think of a time where we weren't having these very coordinated, as Nancy Pelosi would say, AstroTurf campaign? Just to try to give some energy to the Democrat Party, the globalist cause. Nobody in their right mind is on board with that policy, with that set of policies, that policy portfolio. No thanks. It's not just that they get a couple of the big important issues wrong. The batting average is perhaps historically low. It used to be a time you could disagree with somebody on stuff, and you're like, that's just Jim. Jim's gonna be Jim. And that's kind of as far as it went. Now families, friends, have sort of separated. It's very much by design. Yeah, if the Democrats are doing this, why aren't the Republicans? Where is the? Yeah, they did. I did it on January 6th. Did it on January 6th. I know they say Republicans don't normally do it because they're busy working their jobs, and there is a question mark paid component to this. The printed banners, the printed signs, where you all gather and collect some money to perform some tasks, and you're an organizer for the community and you're paid. Well, why don't we take some of that conservative funding and fund people? Be like, hey, we're all meeting at this area, we're going to make our own signs, and we're going to go out and we're going to give these messages out. CPAC happened. Are we even talking about it? I don't know. My timeline is full of people at the No Kings rally. Oh, by the way, let me ask. Patriot Worsen, where is the background music coming from? I actually need to double check this in my studio. I'm going to mute this. we passed. Patriot Horse saying, where is the background music coming from? I actually need to double check this. I'm going to mute this. Now I'm watching myself watch myself. It's AI music that we generate. And that's still, there's still a possibility that YouTube will fraudulently flag one of these videos because of it. But it's an option. I just figured it's a different way to open the show. And we have several days of news to dig through, so if you have a story you want us to share, tag us on X. We're at American_media_. Let me share screen with you. Here it is. At American_media_. And our Patreon is pinned right here. We're wrapping up the month. We need 15 more Rumble Super Chats to surpass our lowest month of the past 7 months. March has been very slow on the YouTube Super Chat front. So if anybody wants to jump in, you can. Here, let me pull up. What does my page look like? I guess I could show not the dashboard. I could show the channel. Yeah, we are streaming live on YouTube as usual. Make sure you're following us. We put all the live shows on here. That's a lot of live shows. There's a lot of live news that we've been unpacking. We have 1,500 videos, something like that. Lots of news to figure out. Cool. I never show you the actual channel. Dems misrepresent. Accountability is kings. Yeah, a pushback on your bullshit. It's not about being a king. That's about accountability. We got a very tenuous situation with being told what to do in America. Leave us be. And my God, what's going on in Canada? They're coming after their guns now? They're going to go door to door confiscating. 98% of Canadians have refused to comply with the government's order. Turnover banned firearms. Man, do we have a few different examples of this? Canada expanding their gun ban and sending firearms to Ukraine? What? That doesn't seem right. That's from 2024. Anyway. You hear what they're up to there. And it's all super important. And it's all worth covering. And that's what we do here. If you have a story, tag us at American_media_. Send it as a message to us. And sometimes we'll put those on the show. We'll discuss those topics. You can help us drive the news. Question of the day. Is the music at the beginning music-y in a good way, or is it detracting from the experience? Question of the day: music good, music indifferent, music bad? Hard to hear you talking over it. Is it still hard to hear me talking over now that I've dropped the volume? Now at this point, I'll drop it to 20. Super low. So at first it was the loud music. Then it was the music cut in half. Now it's the super quiet music. So tell me in the comments. Either way, we're going to delve into the news. So, like I said, share your stories with us on X at American_media_. Subscribe to us and consider becoming a monthly sponsor on YouTube, as well as dropping some super chats. We need $15 in there to surpass the lowest month. So we've been better on some platforms and different on other platforms, and it balances out, but I keep track of the metrics. So we do need some super chat love over there in the next day or two. 30 days have September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. So March has 31. Today and tomorrow, folks. But yeah, you can drop something there, as well as Rumble. Where's our Rumble channel? I don't know how many of you even know what Rumble is. How do I just go to my page? Let me see, Rumble. Okay, I guess this is my page on Rumble. Lots of shows over the years. You can join. Well, that's on locals. Anyway, make sure you're following us on all the places, okay? That's the main point I'm getting at. And tell me question of the day. Music is fine with me, but it's up to you. All right. Wait, you said 100 so far this month, but you never see them? 100 what? Stories on X? Am I missing out on? Hold on. No, I don't see that. You did remind me that I have these messages here. All right. Well, here we go. Thank you all for being here. Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you smash the like button on YouTube. Let the algorithm know that you are active and engaged. And without further delay, let's launch today's TNAM Daily Show. All right.
Your guide to the truth, the new AmericanMedia.com.
All right. Jump into chat. See Patriot Warrior, Texas, talking about Rumble rants so far this month. Yes. Hold on. Let me be clear. Patriot Warrior, I saw, and then okay. Talking to the Rumble rant chat, Patriot Warrior. Those Rumble rants did come through. They were seen. If they weren't acknowledged, it was probably because it was in between the shows. Acknowledged, and because it clips into the threshold, I think it goes at just every $50 increment. So once it clips into the next 50, you get an automatic transfer into your account and you get a notification. And that's sometimes the first that you see them. Sometimes I see them on the screen. Sometimes I don't notice. But yeah, as I was mentioning in the intro, the some of our platforms have been up this month, and some of our platforms like YouTube are still the I think we have 7 months now to compare. Actually, let me pull it up because we're technically now we're getting into how the sausage is made here, aren't we? But it's okay. It is there's a formula that has to make sense. The time entered into an endeavor versus the revenue generated by said endeavor versus how many waking hours of the day versus how many other responsibilities versus this is all super important in independent media. See more. Can I see more months? Okay. That actually made it. December was our best month. Right now, this is our not best month. We are $8 away, but the YouTube takes their 20%, 30%. So like $15 away from surpassing November. And we're like $50 away from coming in third. So we shall see what we can accomplish on the YouTube super chats. While I did see the Rumble rants, we got to get more people into Rumble. It is such an important platform. We are not very far removed from our freedom of speech disappearing. I was shut down on the internet. I wasn't able to discuss what was happening in the world. That is how totalitarian things became. So if we want to have some squabbles over some policy decisions, if we want to say that that this was ill-advised that the United States inquire to purchase Greenland or form some sort of agreement, or should Cuba be brought into the 21st century and a place where capitalism and success and upward mobility can thrive and shine? Is that nation building? Is that the neocon agenda that always falls back, smacks us in the face every time we try it? Or is this a new commander-in-chief trying to set a set of new commander-in-chief objectives? And maybe let's let him cook. Maybe let's see how this stuff is handled. Do you have a strong frustration that the bad people in Iran, maybe that's easier said than explained? But that regime, what they were responsible for 50 years, go back before 50? Is it our responsibility? Is it not? Is it something we should be involved in? I just read a post from someone about, they're done with Trump. Oh, I can't believe this and that. Okay, so you're going to Gavin Newsom? Is that you want to sell to me? You're so upset with something that we don't know how it's going to play out long term. Let's see. We got a guy thinking differently, trying different things. We're not allowed to do that. I'm allowed to do that. And I'm allowed to say that I'm not a geopolitical expert on every single topic, every single time something comes up. I grant myself that amount of grace. But there's people that are saying, all right, they're done. They're done. They're done with Trump. No boots on the ground. I can respect that perspective. I can. I think directionally we are so much more on track with big picture domestic issues, while I still have plenty of frustrations. So I don't know, this perpetual outrage culture. If the Democrats are doing it, why aren't the Republicans doing it? Where are the street events? You say, well, you do a street event and you're taken out like Charlie Kirk. Is that really where we're at? It might be, but you know what? If it is, let's deal with it. What's that mean? Why is it that way? Can it be changed? First, we need to identify where we are. So, Yeah, I'm shedding zero tears that Iran is under new management. Now we'll just have to see how it shakes out in the end. But I'm on for the ride. I signed up for a 4-year term. Let's see how it shakes out. I'm not jumping off ship, and I'm not gonna put Democrats in Congress so that they can impeach Trump and go through lawfare again and effectively run out the whole second term like they did his entire first term. If he could have gotten some of the agenda completed, maybe we'd be in a far different position than we are right now. And the Save America Act is a major part of it. I don't understand why John Thune hasn't been replaced by 5 senators. For the life of me, I don't understand it. I can't even fathom a scenario where that wouldn't be a top issue of ultra importance. It seems so obvious to me that that's crucial. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? All right, let's go ahead and jump into the news, see what we got cooking. Just another reminder, follow us on Instagram, the New American Media. All right, I will bring this up for you. Tell me in the comments, what did we get into this weekend, David, Marion, John? Man, it's just been a lot of housework, yard work, the whole shed to make it make sense. I mean, taking almost everything completely out to reconfigure and reimagine what you got and what you want to do with it. Cutting down limbs and just landscaping and overdue projects and weed tarp and mending of and fire pits and rotting wood piles. And for me, there's been a lot of that this week. A lot of getting caught up on those projects. So curious to hear how your week went. Okay, this is from Guns and Gadgets, shared by Amuse. Let's hear this conversation about Canada. Off-duty and retired police. Who is this talking? Let me see if I can get some more context here. Let me pull up the volume and go. Oh, let's not do that.
Estimated 2 million affected.
There we are.
The declaration period for firearms owners is scheduled to end next week. So far, only 2.5% of the estimated 2 million affected firearms have been declared, and 98% of firearms owners haven't made a declaration. So if they're not declaring by next week, what's your plan, Minister?
The RCMP
Who is this guy?
and other agencies will be available throughout the spring and the summer to do the collection.
To do the collection. All right, listen. Hear me out. If regime change in Venezuela, Cuba, and Iran is on the table, can we help our brothers to the north? What is this? To do the collection? You're trying to disarm the citizens of Canada. Our strong neighbor to the north, who's supposed to be our northern front, our wall of strength, has been turned into criminals by people like this guy to do the collection.
Not declaring by next week, what's your plan, Minister?
The RCMP and other agencies will be available throughout the spring and the summer to do the collection.
And you're saying that your plan is over the spring and the summer to deploy RCMP officers to go door to door to firearms owners and seize their firearms?
These are additional resources. So these are those who are off duty, those who may be retired.
I just find that very concerning that we're going to be sending police officers door to door because, frankly, many police forces across the country are refusing to participate in your program. And I think they have very good reasons to not want to participate in this program. And
more so than that, you arrest that guy who's trying to take away your freedom.
And putting people who are no longer serving as RCMP officers going door to door. Are you not concerned about this at all, Minister?
Well, I think you may not understand the full extent of the program, Mr. Lloyd. It's not a door-to-door program. It is a mobile collection.
Mobile collection. Do you see how creepy things have turned in Canada, people?
The declaration.
Well, I think you may not understand the full extent of the program, Mr. Lloyd. It's not a door-to-door program. It is a mobile collection will occur.
Remember when you had your vaccine passports and you couldn't travel or work or live your life? Look, you got to stop this stuff.
The program that we have in place is voluntary, strictly voluntary. So they're not compelled to take part in the program, although compliance with the law is not voluntary. And that, as you're aware, as of October the 31st or 30th of this year, the amnesty that was...
Who put a guy like this into a position of power? Who is this guy working for and who trained him?
Extended expires.
So after that amnesty expires, what's your government's plan for those firearms owners that might still be in possession of these firearms?
Every police of jurisdiction will, as you're aware, need to enforce the law.
Okay. John Hawkins says the reason they want to take your guns is because they intend to do things to you that you'd be right to shoot them for, says John Hawkins. Your life and your freedom will depend on having those guns after the people that intend to enslave you say you can't have them anymore. Act appropriately. All right. Canada's amnesty orders. Canadians who possessed any of the 2,585 firearms reclassified as prohibited under the criminal code. Grok confirms, according to Amuse, that Canada added hundreds of firearms to its prohibited list back in 2020, including the AR-15 platform, various carbines, and pistols. Confirmed that Canada issued amnesty orders, SOR, followed by 2024 and 2025 updates, that temporarily shielded licensed owners and businesses from criminal liability for simply possessing the newly prohibited guns. All right, that's our neighbors to the north, and they're in trouble. Here's our podcast. I'm feeling very squinty today. I'm very squinty. Marion, what's up? You got 10th place in a chili cook-off. 31 teams. Well, what is the key? What is the cornerstone to a good chili? What's the cornerstone to your chili? Top 10. There you go. Congrats. I don't believe I've ever entered a chili cook-off. I know someone that entered a chili cook-off by going to Wendy's and getting several containers of Wendy's and then putting all those containers into one container. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is a fantastic chili. And like, it's Wendy's. I think it's pretty great. Like that should be that's it. That's it right there. It'd be a what's your secret ad campaign. It's like grandma. Oh, sweetie, she won't let me near the ingredients. She doesn't tell a soul how she makes this. I just know she's cooking up a storm and slow roasting all day. Or whatever. It works better if it's a grandmother. Something about how like her routine, she's won the chili cook-off 47 years in a row. And go back to whenever Wendy's was created. She wins every year, but she won't let anyone know what the recipe. And you could like show grandma like sly texting somebody, like, okay, you get my order? Just making sure you're gonna have the shipment ready tomorrow, 8 a.m. as discussed? Question mark. Hit like some GIF where it's like, what me worry? That would be a hip GIF to a hip GIF to a GILF. Hip GIF for a GILF. I wrote that down because that is the most absurd statement I've ever made. A hip GIF or a GIF, whatever you call it, for a GILF. I don't want to say that word anymore. Yeah, and then she just goes and like she picks up 200 packages, exchanges the thing. See you again next year. See you again next year. And maybe that person at their store has like ribbons all up on the wall for best chili. Like they take pride in it, but they don't tell. What an ad campaign. Oh, that's brilliant. I can see it. Yeah, my dad won a chili cook-off. Adobo seasoning, I believe, was his secret ingredient. Congratulations. All right. Yeah, just I see this. You're allowed to wave Hamas flags, Hezbollah flags, flags of the USSR, IRGC flags, ISIS flags, gay pride flags, but don't you dare wave the British flag or a police officer will confiscate it and arrest you for incitement and racism. Welcome to the UK.
Whoa. Why would you do that? Because you're being a kid.
Yeah, these nations have been overthrown and people are seeing it. This is allegedly a woman. Eric Daughtry presents this, a smug white liberal on the left who's supporting the Islamic regime. And this lady has had enough from the events this weekend.
She's right. Iranians are asking for the bombs. Oh no, they are. I'm a journalist. I'm in contact with Iranian youth who are asking to be bombed. And you are standing here supporting a terrorist regime. What are you doing supporting a terrorist regime? Why are you supporting a terrorist regime? I understand bombing is bad. Convince me of what? Of rape? Of women not having no rights? I'm Iranian. I've been imprisoned by that regime. This has got nothing to do with Palestine. This is about a terrorist regime in my country. I can't even go to see my father's grave. I'm left as a refugee. You should think about it.
Whew, that woman, it seemed like that woman got wrecked. Didn't really have anything to say. Sometimes it feels like confronting these people in the streets is pointless, and sometimes it feels like sometimes you need a good conversation. Eric Daughtry said, mad props to this woman. White liberals are clueless all over the world. Okay, here's another from Daughtry. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg faces calls to resign after giving a transgender illegal alien child artist a generous plea deal of only 6 months. This transgender here, a known criminal, followed a 14-year-old into the bathrooms and arred him. Nicole Alexandra Contreras Suarez gets a sweetheart deal of a lifetime because Democrats control New York City. Freaking traitors. DHS. Contreras Suarez was led into our country by the Biden administration and then again released from jail following his previous arrests for armed robbery, assault with a dangerous weapon, and prostitution. Alvin Bragg, people. Democrat Party. New York City, people. Joe Biden, Democrat Party. 100% unnecessary. 6 months for abusing a kid. SKS Cartoon says a trans illegal criminal. I think we just found the perfect Democratic voter. Maybe the perfect Democrat voter doesn't exist. Hold on now. Trans illegal alien guilty of R? Unreal. Gator Gar says, hey, remember when AOC said that Elon was addicted to ketamine and he posted proof of a clean drug test? But then we found out AOC actually spent campaign funds to do ketamine treatment for herself? And do you remember this video? It's uncomfortably close. It's better with music, but I can't play music.
I apologize.
That was perfect.
Breaking all the rules.
Well, I guess we might make some mistakes.
They love story.
I think one of the biggest problems we have in DC is that everyone's egos are too big.
I actually just prefer to have no titles at all.
I like the music, but I can't play the music.
You're opening yourself up.
I'm just being me. Go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The internet's so silly sometimes. Campaign funds for ketamine, huh? Yeah, ketamine's a thing. Hold on, just now I'm glancing over here what's happening. Sir Charles, Laura Dern, Crabs, and Jupiter's Best. Give me a second. Why are these strange? Okay. Jeffrey Epstein investigation limited series being shopped at Sony. All right, we shall see. What is this? Oh, that can't be why that's trending. Okay. Well, once again, this is why I don't click on what's happening, because it's just sort of a weird layout to find the top stories. All right, the rabbit hole. What are they talking about? The left used to worship Elon. Then they started calling him a Nazi over political disagreements. The message is clear: either submit to the left, or the left will do everything in its power to ruin you. Elon wanted a new payment method on the internet, so he created PayPal. Wanted to drive electric cars, so he founded Tesla Motors. Wanted to go to space cheaper, created SpaceX. Wanted faster transportation, developing the Hyperloop. Elon does not tell everyone how bad the world is. Elon is working on changing the world. Be like Elon. No, and we don't mean that I think some people will watch a conversation or a post like that and be like, oh, it's worship. And you're like, no, but isn't that what we should be aiming at? We should be aiming at creating and inventing and succeeding and accomplishing. I think we should. So anyway. Yeah, You want something, create something. And don't focus all day on telling everyone how bad the world is. Work on changing it and making it better. All right, South Carolina, No Kings protest. Mother-daughter duo. Why are you protesting and what are you protesting? It goes kind of how you would expect it to go. Take a watch. Shared from Matt Van Swole.
Got a mom and daughter, I'm assuming, correct?
Yes,
and you
sir,
are?
Yes, sir. My name is Melissa Group.
Melissa and?
Mia Group.
Mia. We're going to start with Mia. Mia, why are you out here?
To protest and make a better democracy.
And your sign, this is a together sign, I guess.
Sir.
Explain your together sign, Mia.
So it's supposed to be about, like, we get to make a statement and they just silence us and they don't get to do that. We have the right.
You have the right to do that, Mom. Melissa, just what does it mean for you to have your little one out here today? And how important is it for you?
Well, I have 3 girls, and so it is so important to build a better future for them. We are here to be the light, not to squash it out, and so it means everything to have my daughter with me.
Now, I'm looking at your signs. Who put it together? Whose idea was this? Tell me. This is your idea? Tell me about it. How'd you come with this idea?
I just looked up some ideas and I just put it together.
How does it feel to be her mom?
I am so incredibly proud, and she has her own voice. She's here because she wants to. She knows it's the right thing. It just means everything that I'm raising her to be the light, to be a future for all of us.
I'm raising her to be as gullible and manipulatable as me. I'm raising her to regurgitate all of my silliness. Good for you. Not a single coherent sentence, says Matt. Unbelievable to watch. All right. Okay, no, I will go back and read this. This
got mom and daughter, I'm assuming, correct?
Didn't press play. This is an interesting thought experiment here. I've learned that you can't play comedians a lot of times, which is a shame. CERN Basher. All right, James says nobody's skeptical of autonomous elevators because nobody alive today was even around to see a human elevator operator in real life before the last one got laid off. Automation is far safer. Elon put out, elevators used to be manually operated and were especially risky if the operator was tired or inebriated. Now you just get in, press a button, and a modern elevator, if inspected regularly, is extremely safe. And it's just trying to think of the universe without artificial intelligence, the universe without automation. Dad, what was it like in the 90s? It's like many of those 1990s years those were years without a personal computer at home. That's a universe without a personal computer at home. Let alone in your pocket all day long with you this close. You can see a difference in these worlds. And it's important that we think about it. It's important that we understand it. Marion pushes back. Not true. I remember the elevator man at the courthouse in Eastland, Texas. I'm sure John does too. Hey, Culligan man. Then there's the Maytag repairman. He's got nothing to do. Yeah, and look, I used to be in property management. And coordinating with the elevator technicians so that every permit can be accurate. You have to display it. There's a whole laundry list of stuff you have to take care of when you're juggling thousands of individual units. So, I mean, I worked with a lot of elevator repairmen too. But I digress. Yeah, just these autonomous, these self-driving cars. It's a interesting conversation. Would you would you rather get in the car with Tiger Woods after a round of golf, or would you rather get into a robo car? Oh shit. Maybe that's I'm gonna make that as a poll. I'm feeling drawn to do so. I'd rather get in a car driven by Tiger Woods after a round of golf than I would trust my life in an empty robo car. Agree or disagree? Tell us why. Would you rather get in a robo car or Tiger Woods after a round of golf? Okay. Agree. Trust in Tiger. Disagree. Robo me home. Okay, there's a new poll that we put up. Did it as an agree or disagree? Okay, so what's going on here? Gunther Eagleman says Republicans are demanding a full recount in Florida after a Republican-held seat flipped to Democrats by just 800 votes. A Democrat elections office volunteer got caught stealing election materials. More Democrat cheating exposed. Let's hear the story.
A man is behind bars today after law enforcement leaders say he stole sensitive computer equipment from a Palm Beach County Supervisor Elections office training. John D. Panici faces theft charges. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office saying that Panici attended a volunteer training session with the Elections Office on March 19th for the March 24th elections. While there, officials say he stole an encrypted access key from a registration terminal. A man is behind bars today after law enforcement leaders.
Wow. Are we finally going to catch this stuff? They really flipped the Mar-a-Lago seat Democrat? And what's the purpose of that? What do you think they're planning on doing there, huh? Nothing or something? So what's Grok got to say about this for context? It's real. Emily Gregory allegedly flipped Republican-held seat by 800 votes, prompting conservative outcry in a traditional narrow margin in a narrow margin in a traditionally red area. Democrat volunteer John Panici arrested for stealing encrypted access key from Palm Beach County elections training on March 19, but no public evidence links this incident directly to vote tampering in the Gregory race. Oh, just do a rerun. Well, when was the race? 19th. Oh, 5 days later. Oh yeah, you got to rerun this. No formal demand or audit has been reported for this state house contest, underscoring persistent partisan debates on election security and unproven fraud allegations. Keep your eyes peeled. Is this true? Let's see. Is this a true story? Yes, the core details. It's not fabricated, but it is presented in a highly critical, interpretive way that highlights concerns about Canada's medical assistance and dying program. Alan Nichols, 61, from British Columbia. 2019, his family called a wellness check because they feared he was suicidal. Police brought him to the hospital. He texted his brother asking to be busted out. 1 month later, he was dead. His MAID application listed one condition as the reason for his death: hearing loss. The nurse who approved this application administered the lethal injection herself. His family filed a police report. The RCMP closed the file without taking a statement from any family member. His death certificate says nothing about any of this. Death certificate omits any mention of MAID, medical assistance in dying. Records the underlying illness instead. Disabilities, mental health issues, isolated hearing loss, and some interpretations. Expanded in 2021, Canada's euthanasia program. Doesn't require a terminal prognosis in all tracks. Hearing loss alone wouldn't, but maybe mental health or suicidality concerns from the wellness check. Critics argue the system sometimes approves cases too quickly or pressures vulnerable people. Nurse practitioners are K-ing people. Oh my God. Alan Nichols in 2019. Be careful, everybody. And another one. Dude competed Canada Olympics. She? Why does it say she? Is that Anyway, I'm digging into a story I'm not familiar with. Okay. Yeah, I got very big concerns about that MAID program, the medical assistance in dying up in Canada. I don't trust it at all. I think we got a problem up there. Marion would jump in the car with Tiger. You could at least tell him to slow down. Not sure that a robo-car would listen. Hal, slow down the car. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Like Leon is going with Tiger. All right, what's Jake here saying? For 2 straight years, Democrat officials, White House staffers, and media figures went on camera and said Joe Biden had a photographic memory, limitless energy, 0 signs of cognitive decline. Here are the actual quotes. He works us all under the table. I can't even keep up with him. I never, ever, ever felt like I saw anything that was in decline. These weren't random supporters. These were people who rode Air Force One with him, people who walked into the Oval Office and sat across the desk. Not one of them expressed a single concern on camera. Then came the debate. Within days, the same party that spent 2 years calling him the most accomplished president of their lifetime removed him from the ticket. Not one person who said those things has been asked publicly to explain the difference between what they told America and what they knew. Nobody has answered that question yet. So,
doing the job, capable and ready to serve another term.
Capable.
It's 6 minutes of this. I encourage you to watch this breakdown. Okay, Mario Nawfal is putting this story out. He does a lot of good reporting. New documents show that Epstein met a top face transplant doctor in New York City with a scheduled 2018 appointment at NYU Langone. It never stops getting. Jeffrey Epstein, alongside Palm Beach Pete. What do you think? Different guy? Same guy? I'm Palm Beach Pete. What's Grok got to say? Faked his death, but why would he just go right to Palm Beach? How far back is Palm Beach Pete mentioned publicly is a separate person. Some local guy that they've known for a while. I'm not seeing. Okay. It's only been out there for 2 weeks. It's not. So hold on. So this Pete guy wasn't known to the locals for decades. No. Peter Simmel. Not a well-known figure in Palm Beach for decades under the nickname as an Epstein lookalike. That's not what I was asking. Retired commercial real estate executive, previously lived and worked in New York City on the Upper East Side. Background as a former Division I tennis player and a gold medalist. He was on season 4 of The Real Housewives in New York City. Okay, so. All right. So if you can go back to gold medal days, you're talking decades, I believe. So it doesn't appear to be a thing, but now even Mario Nawfal's putting this out there. He's not saying he believes it, but it never stops getting more bizarre. Libs of TikTok says Democrat Mayor of Providence, Rhode Island, Brett Smiley is calling for a mural of Irina Zarutska, which is in the middle of being painted in the city, to be taken down. He's tagged here, so let him know what you think. PVD Mayor. Calling to take this mural down. Why in the world would you do that? Colin Rugg reporting a student athlete is left paralyzed after he was shot at a Waffle House while coming to his friend's aid. 18-year-old Seth here.
The phone rings late at night. It's never good news.
James Jackson says his son's best friend called.
He told me that Seth had been shot, ruptured aorta, fractured rib, spinal cord had been shattered. And then she just went right on and said he'll never walk again. Contract on an apartment.
But the unexpected.
Life changes and
leaves the Jacksons with many unknowns.
Our number one concern is to he survive it. We'll figure out the changes we need to make.
James saw Seth before he was taken in for his first surgery.
He was, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry. I love you. You know, and don't cry.
Seth told his dad a friend was attacked by 2 people when he went toward him to help.
They didn't even make it over there to him. A couple of them pulled out guns. So Seth put on his brakes and he said he turned to kind of run, and that's when he got shot. Every parent's nightmare.
It's a new and hard journey.
You get that call.
They'll tackle together.
Yeah, he's going to be my baby.
In Richardson, I'm Tiffany Liu.
The phone.
His one friend getting attacked by friends by a group of teens. Richardson, Texas. Have you heard this story? John, Marion? Straight A student, 2 jobs, recently committed to the University of Houston. Okay, Whiplash 347 says, that's it. I give up. Donald Trump is a time traveler. 1987 ABC 2020 interview. Here we go.
Because I'm running for the presidency. I'm here because I'm personally tired of seeing this great country of ours being ripped off.
But as far as Trump is concerned, our allies are only part of the problem. The real culprit is Iran.
Why couldn't we go in and take over some of their oil, which is along the sea?
How would you do that? Would you send in the Marines? Would you take a chance in a war?
Let them have Iran. You take their oil. That's what
How?
How?
I mean, do we want a war? What do we mean we
in,
take their oil?
You go in. You're
How
gonna have
do
a
we
war,
go
Barbara.
in?
You're going to have a war by being weak.
Okay, how do we?
This is very consistent. 88, so 98, 08, 18, 28 years before, 27 years before running.
We go in. What do we do?
And then now we're in 2026. Almost 40 years. 38 years. So to say that this is a new thing where the president, he's been swayed by a globalist, Marco Rubio, or by a Jew, Benjamin Netanyahu, or by fill in the blanks. It's Howard Lutnick. He's in his ear. They've got neocons that are giving him all these ideas. He's been talking about this exact specific idea for 40 years. You can say it's a lot of things, but it's not new.
You're going to have a war, and it's going to start in the Middle East.
What if the Soviet Union said, you do this to Iran, we're going to come in?
I don't believe they'd do it. The next time Iran attacks this country, go in and grab one of their big oil installations, and I mean grab it and keep it, and get back your losses, because this country has lost plenty because of Iran.
That was 87? Oh, I think I had a different date in my head. I think I had 88 in my head. But you get the point. We can have our doubts and our concerns and our worries and our hang-ups over military involvement. And you can also recognize that your commander-in-chief is going to put that policy together. I'm rooting for the good people in Iran that I know and then the families of those people to get out from underneath what the hell that was there for half a century. I'm not going to be negative about it right now. I'm not. I'm going to be hopeful and positive. I'm not getting off the Trump train. I'm not doing it. Where am I going to go? Where am I want Tim Walz in charge of the country's borders and our treasury. Are you out of your mind? Nah, I'm good. Watched a movie this weekend. Project Hail Mary. I enjoyed it. I'm not even going to tell. Is a space mission. I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable. Ryan Gosling and the AT&T girl. Small part, but NASA says Artemis 2 is a go, with 0 technical issues reported ahead of Wednesday's historic moon launch. 4 astronauts will fly around the moon for the first time since 1972. Liftoff set for April 1st. Let's see. Artemis 2. I think I can play this. It's a NASA video. Let's take a look at the mission. It's got music. So we're going to shot it around there. Launch it up to meet the moon. Why aren't we just landing on it? And it shows the time lapse of how many days? 7 days. How long? About 5 days to meet it. And then 4 days to get back. What's a documentary about it?
Success means, first, we bring the crew home. Second, we demonstrate a robust spacecraft.
A 10-day.
Would you take a space flight?
A 10-day journey going 500,000 miles. We want
500,000 miles. What a trip that's got to be.
to continue to
What a blast. What a trip, what a blast.
We want to continue to learn. We want to go beyond. We want to go even further.
And liftoff.
Artemis 2 mission.
It's a new beginning. It's a rebirth of human exploration.
It starts with one flight.
Would you look at that?
One crew. Artemis 2.
We are ready.
Yeah, go watch the, check out the behind the scenes thing. I shared it here on our X feed. We should be doing big things like this, working together occasionally. What's this? American Airlines passengers are shocked to learn that their flights were actually bus routes. There's no plane. There's a U.S. pilot shortfall in 2026. 24,000. What? Training a new commercial pilot takes 2 to 3 years minimum and costs 6 figures. So American found a loophole. Partner with the bus company, brand it American Eagle, and sell the seat on AA.com with a flight number. Route passengers through TSA, let them pick a seat, check bags, earn AAA Advantage miles. The entire experience is designed to feel like you're in a flight every way except the part where you leave the ground. The economics are staggering. A regional jet on a 90-mile route needs 2 pilots, $100,000 each, a flight attendant, jet fuel, FAA maintenance requirements, and an aircraft that costs $20 to $30 million. A landline bus needs 1 driver and a highway. South Bend to Chicago O'Hare is 90 miles. That route doesn't make money with a regional jet anymore. It barely made money before the pilot shortage. The bus lets American keep selling connections through O'Hare to every destination in its network without operating a single flight. This is what the pilot shortage actually looks like. Not canceled routes, not smaller airports going dark. The airline just quietly reclassified a bus as a flight and kept charging accordingly. The TikTok exposing it has 13 million views because the passenger cleared security, sat at a gate, and watched her luggage get loaded onto a coach before it merged onto the interstate. The word bus appears once during booking in small text. Google Flights lists it with a tiny bus icon. The airline says customers are transparently informed. 72% of U.S. airports are already lost an average of 25% of their flights to the shortage. The landline is expanding, not shrinking. Philadelphia, Chicago, and now 5 regional airports are on the bus network. American Airlines is solving a $28,000 per pilot shortfall crisis by removing the pilot from the equation entirely. The bus is the product now. The flight number is just packaging. You ever heard of that? Buzz Lightyear. No, Buzz, Kenneth, not Buzz. Buzz. Cheers, Kenneth. And then how soon are these buses going to be driverless? Now, is this really a post? That awkward moment when you misspell your sign while calling someone stupid. My dog is smarter than Trump. She must have attended the Leering Center. Is it a real sign and a real picture? Come on, Grok. You know what I'm going to ask. I'm looking for context. No, it's not a real photo of an actual protester. Almost certainly doctored. My dog is smarter than Trump. THAN. Huh? But they're spelling it wrong. I can't trust it. I don't know if this is real or not. Hang on. Let me just put in the comments. Is this an AI or Doctored image. All right. I always wonder when I see stuff like that. No King's protesters didn't just fly communist flags. They flew the Islamic regime flag of Iran. Filmed by Laura Lynn.
Standing up and refuse.
People who oppose oppression, want to destroy women's rights, and throw gay people off buildings is an Islamic caliphate. Call it Trump derangement syndrome.
And everyday people who are in town halls, lobby.
There you go. Woman from Charlotte, North Carolina asked, well, here, listen to this and see if you get the same impression. Matt Van Swell shared this.
Come on over here. So tell us where you from and tell us who you are.
I'm actually from Charlotte, North Carolina. My name is Michelle.
Michelle, why come to Fort Mill for this?
Actually, it's a good group of people here, and my friends are here as well. And we're here exercising our right of freedom of speech, of a peaceful protest. We're unhappy with the current administration, and we believe in freedoms, and we're here to make sure that our voice is heard.
And every time as it's loud, because you can hear the honking, how does that make you feel?
Actually, it feels wonderful. It really does. It reinforces what I believe in right now, that we're on the right track, making things a big change right now.
And it's so important to hold that.
So I think the first part is what he's hinting at, or not hinting, directly drilling down on. The woman from Charlotte, North Carolina, who was at the protest in South Carolina, admits on air she's making the rounds to other protests with friends. So when they say thousands showed up, it's the same people on their fifth stop of the day. You can't make this up. I don't know if that's exactly how that works out. I asked what we got into over the weekend. Kenneth, the same to you. Kenneth says his pet bee is smarter than Biden. I did have an issue with a hornet and several wasps. It's an ongoing area of concern. Also, prayers for Nimbus. He had himself quite a challenging couple of days. He's had a tough go of things. But yeah, I'm wondering what you got into this weekend. You're talking about pet bees. And Patriot Warrior does raise bees, or helps them hang out. He's the bee landlord or something. Making knives and sheaths this weekend. So yeah, how much of this is just performative and going to multiple? Oh, I'm just making the rounds. She might have just meant that, I'm just coming on out to see the regulars. Senator Mazie Hirono says Donald Trump is not, never will be, and has never been a king. Look at this. When the Democrats donned their ceremonial attire. President Trump waltzes in. Mazie Hirono got 6.5 million views with Donald Trump is not, never will be, and never has been a king. Tim Burchett. Daggum. And why the fuss? Daggum. I mean... Yes, Lake Leon, some prayers for Nimbus. Kenneth, Nimbus, no prayers sent. Yeah, he was sick. Out of both ends, all over. And very dehydrated, would not eat, would not do it. And then went to the warmest spot and was laying down just like that. Cat that I went and picked up off the side of the road that looked so much like Nimbus, I called him Nimbus Jr. Took him to an emergency vet. And he perked up a little bit at the emergency vet. And I'm like, buddy, you're not eating, you're not drinking, and you are dehydrated. because you've had issues, on both sides. I brought him back, and he ate a little. Took him a day and a half. I guess we're allowed to get sick from time to time. Oh, man. I wish I knew when it was, and I wish I could just keep him in one place. And, man. So, yeah, Nimbus is, there was a lot of that this week. I can't even say that I'm done with it. Every now and then, I don't know if he gets into food he's not supposed to, if it's timing, if it's just a 20-year-old cat being a 20-year-old cat. But yeah, it was a whew. Yeah, it was a tough one. Daggum, I was talking about Tim Burchett. My name's Tim Burchett. We'll leave a light on for you. Daggum. See, that would be a good skit. We'll leave the light on for you. Do you know what that marketing campaign is? Hi, I'm Tom Bodett. Daggum. I'm Tom Bodett. Yeah, what's the fuss if he isn't a king and never will be? Like, yep. Kevin Sorbo says, no kings. Brought to you by the people that refuse to hold a primary for Kamala without they just had no primary. They just swapped Kamala in. No process, no polling the electorate. And they have the gall to look at the other side and call their leader a king, selected by the people against the will of their long-standing uniparty establishment rhinos. Yeah, the people that arrested Trump are yelling about no kings. The ones who attempted to remove him from the ballot. Oh, yeah, he's a king. No, you're doing the king stuff, trying to handicap and explode him every chance you get. Remember suing to keep RFK Jr. off the ballot and much, much more? The hypocrisy is amazing. No king, they shout, while begging government to rule their health, their pay, their speech, their children, their land, and their future. No king. The New American Media said Democrats are the most tone-deaf political train wrecks humanity has ever had to endure. Nothing about the Democrat Party is democratic, and their kings always usurp the will of the American people. I guess it's their kings always usurp the will of the American people. Jason D. Meister, imagine throwing a no kings protest after your party refused to hold a primary, coronated Kamala without a single vote, sued to keep RFK Jr. off the ballot, and attempted to remove Trump from state ballots only after your illegal lawfare scheme failed. If there was a modern-day monarchy in America, there would be only one party you could point to, and that's the Democrats. That's the Democrats. Eric Daughtry reporting, wow, J.D. Vance's anti-fraud task force just went all hands on deck. Not only inviting Nick Shirley to the first meeting, but also Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, Secretary RFK Jr., Scott Bessent, Stephen Miller, Brooke Rollins, Russ Vought, and AAG McDonald. By the way, as I start wrapping up the stories that we have on tap for you, this is perhaps the final reminder of the day. We have 2 days left in March, trying to make it surpass December. I did just have it pulled up. Yes. We are trying to get that past. Well, I mean, we could shoot past that, but yeah, let's just focus on that first. A $15 super chat away from surpassing November. November is the lowest month, and we only have 2 days left in this month in super chats on YouTube. So if you like the show, I didn't even put it up on the screen, did I? I'll just tell you now, ways that you can toss us some love. I'm your bartender. I show up and deliver a newscast daily. If you like your bartender, tip your bartender. Thank you so much to everybody who has and anybody who will. The ways to do it are Patreon, Rumble, YouTube subscriptions, Rumble Rant tip, Super Chat tip, as well as Venmo Cash App, that's just my name, and PayPal fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com is the email address. So yeah, JD Vance, they're saying that he is kind of falling behind Marco Rubio for the odds-on choice to take over the mantle of leadership of MAGA when President Trump steps aside, unless he has a third or fourth term. Right? I mean, they could, couldn't they? They could change the rules. Yes, I'm Tom Bodette, Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you. Daggone. No kings, only kinks. All right. So JD Vance and the Anti-Fraud Task Force. Get it going. I believe this is from APAC. Excuse me. Something with PAC in it. BPAC. Is it DPAC? Deepak Chopra? No, it's CPAC. Conservative Political Action Committee. Let me ask this if it says this is from 2026. I thought I've heard this story before. If Grok can give me some context here. Because CPAC, oh, it is a 2026 clip. Good. Well, let's listen live together. Here we go. Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy. A lot of people don't understand. One time, President Trump grabbed a placemat, turned it over, and took a Sharpie, drew out a perfect map of the Middle East. Then he marked the troop strength of every country along each border on that map.
He has encyclopedic molecular knowledge on this wide range of very, very eclectic interests. Music, Broadway shows, pro wrestling, football, every sport, golf, and business and Wall Street. He knows how everybody made their money and what deals they made. And he tells stories all the time about it. It's just one after the other. And one time during the campaign, I was on the airplane with him, and we were sitting across the table from each other, eating McDonald's, drinking Diet Coke. And,
we remember that.
We started talking about Syria, and he got a placemat, and he turned it on its back, and then he took a Sharpie, and he drew a perfect map of the Mideast. And then he put the troop strength of every country on every border on that map, and it just it challenged a lot of the assumptions that I had been told about him. He has, he has this extraordinary depth of knowledge about what's happening in each one of the agencies, my agency and the others, and and then he has an instinct for making good choices.
Well, I have to say that.
And I would say this.
And so my instant reaction to that is just to the people that are going to turn on Trump and, oh, it's such a waste. And he has no idea what he's doing in the Middle East. Once again, like, this dude was our commander in chief for 4 years. He's been thinking about this. He watched what Biden did and the Obama handlers, what they did on what some call Obama's third term. Trump inherited the Obama mess and then watched Joe Biden hand Afghanistan over. And I mean, everything from the Iranian pallets of cash to the October 7th attack to just everything geopolitically, letting the Panama Canal go and just all sorts of decades of chipping away, theft, waste, graft, abuse in the system. Just if before you go ahead and say that you think he's being led astray, maybe consider that he's partnered with people who are going to help execute the plan that the commander-in-chief is aiming at. Just maybe, you know? At least work that into your theory of, well, Bibi has him by the nuts. Or, you know, this dude knows what he's talking about. He has his plan. We saw 40 years ago, the 1987 interview, 39 years ago, talking about Iran in a very similar way to the way you hear Secretary of War Hegseth and President Trump talking about him today. Just maybe. That's all I'm saying. Just maybe there's a plan. And maybe he's not a dope or a lunatic. Just maybe.
I think, you know, I think my uncle, John Kennedy, understood the uses of power better than any president who's preceded him. I think Donald Trump understands the use of power better than probably any president that we've had, at least since Roosevelt, and maybe in American history.
Maybe in American history, by the way. I mean, you're not talking small potatoes there. And the fact that he hasn't been able to do everything that he's wanted to do fast enough, I'm frustrated, as everybody is. But that doesn't mean he's not trying. It doesn't mean he's not the right man for the job. It doesn't mean that these aren't his decisions. It doesn't mean any of this stuff is destined to fail. There was a post from somebody who I've interviewed before. We'll leave it at that. And I just made the it was like resharing somebody else. Like, I'm out. This isn't America first. I'm like, oh, and you know, geopolitically, what's America first. You know, you have it all figured out. You know, it's that parable. Maybe so, maybe not. But I'm not going to jump out. I'm not jumping off the ship, and I'm not going to let the Democrats lynch him. No, thank you. More RFK Jr. at CPAC.
Let me just say this. President Trump is exactly the opposite of everything that I believed him to be. You know, and, you know, I basically drank the Kool-Aid that he was this, you know, bombastic narcissist who didn't read books, was ill-informed. And then, you know, now I know exactly the opposite. He's the opposite of a narcissist. He's an empath. You see that every time he talks about the Ukraine war, let me just...
That's an odd point to cut it off. Okay, leading report says Supreme Court is about to consider upholding President Trump's birthright citizenship executive order. This from March 28th. As they should, birth tourism is off the freaking charts, especially with CCP women. I concur completely. I have intimate knowledge of the birth tourism industry, and it is way worse than you recognize. Simply flying here to vacation for 3 weeks, popping out a kid, and flying back to go get raised by 18 years. That does not make you American. That is not the point. That birthright citizenship, that was designed so that there weren't any slaves that could get left out of the citizenship experiment. That has nothing to do with two non-American citizens jumping in here to visit, pop out a kid at a hospital, get the paperwork, and take off. And then that person 35 years later can come back and run this country? No, thank you. There should be birthright citizenship requirements for president, for Congress, for governor, for mayor. You're not born here, you don't get to run here. At least be an American. Probably not even naturalized. Born here by two Americans, someone that cares, understands what this is, not some interloper from the outside from Somalia saying, hey, I want to bring a whole population here, and then we're going to filter all the money that we can. Everybody's going to grab a handful, and we're going to loot all the treasury. You go, what? Yep. That's what pirates do. We invade the ship. We steal all the goods and services, all the livestock, all the cattle. Or, whatever. Your supplies, your rations. So we shall see. Birth tourism. Christian Hines says if Donald Trump wins this case and manages to eliminate birthright citizenship, he will have single-handedly done more to save our country than any politician in my lifetime. So we shall see. Nobody's done it before. You want to talk about just how bad the theft is in Minnesota? Listen to Stephen Miller.
The food stamp program, as an example, SNAP, and that, of course, is administered by Secretary Rollins. We do not know the names of any SNAP recipient in the state of Minnesota. We just get a blank check. We have asked the state repeatedly and tried to compel the state unsuccessfully to turn over their SNAP enrollment rolls so we could ascertain such basic facts as, are these people even legally eligible to receive these benefits? And the state has refused. Absolutely, categorically refused. And in fact, the state has spent millions of dollars in court for the singular purpose of trying to prevent the state from ascertaining the identity of a single SNAP recipient in the entire state of Minnesota. Think about what this does to public trust,
it's unreal.
Social trust, people's faith in the system, right? Imagine in the food stamp program.
Another weird spot to cut that, but it's going to be very important digging through all of this theft. It's very coordinated. New rule, woke ain't dead. Here in California this week, they canceled the governor's debate. New rule.
New rule, woke ain't dead. Here in California this week, they canceled the governor's debate.
Did you hear that? California canceled the governor debate? Sort of flew under the radar.
Because some people were outraged that the top 6 candidates were all white, even though this is what the people voted for, and the people are 62% minority.
Wow. Try to unwrap that logic and unscramble those eggs.
If their opinion was Javier Becerra is fucking awesome, we'd know. And for the record, just because the top 6 candidates are all white, it doesn't mean there's no diversity. I mean, I see all different types of people I don't want. There's no diversity. I mean, I see all different types of people I don't want.
Anyway, keep your eyes peeled on California. It at least for a little while, it showed 2 Republicans polling at the top. And in California, the top 2 vote getters, regardless of party, become the 2 nominees. So it could be Republican versus Republican. We'll see if Katie Porter and Swalwell team up as one awful, unholy alliance to mingle their politic together. That's what the Democrats do well. They use their power of their party very well. For bad purposes, but they do it well. The reason you got Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is because there were 10, 12 people, and it's like, you all are terrible. All right. Well, we're going to take the 2 lowest polling, worst of the worst. The people don't want anything to do with Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. So that's going to be the top and number 2 of our ticket. And you're all going to get in line, and you'll be a transportation secretary, and I don't know what to do with you or what's your name again? We'll find something for you to do. Just you're getting on board, or we're going to Seth Rich you. Be good? Cool. That's how the Democrats operate, while the Republicans infight and say, I'm out on MAGA. I think some of this very complicated geopolitical stuff that's going on, I think it clearly shows XYZ. I'm done. No more MAGA. Okay. I can't do that right now. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm not jumping to that conclusion. I'm not bailing this quickly. Are you out of your mind after how hard we had to fight to get to this point? To just throw a wrench in the gears and go, this is buying us a couple of minutes. It's going to snap. We have a couple of minutes to hurry up. Trump was a wrench into the spokes of the system just to stop it from bringing these grinding gates down closed and locking us in forever. Look at Canada. Look at Europe. Look at where they're headed. Look at what we had to emerge from under Biden's COVID bullshit. I'm not out. I'm not out. Just not doing it. Tony Segura says around 2 to 3 a.m. on March 27th, while most Americans were asleep, while the country assumed its elected officials were either negotiating in good faith or standing firm on principle, the United States Senate quietly slipped a knife into the process. 5 senators, that's all it took. You, John Thune, the majority leader, Eric Schmidt, Bernie Moreno, Mazie Hirono, Andy Kim, a skeleton crew. Designed for speed, for silence, for escape, and with that, by unanimous consent, by voice vote, with no roll call, no recorded accountability, no visible opposition, you passed a partial Department of Homeland Security funding bill. No ICE funding, no CBP funding at 3 a.m. with 5 people in the room. The United States Senate passed a bill that stripped funding from the very agencies responsible for immigration enforcement. And you did it without forcing anyone to go on record. No names, no votes, no fingerprints, just a quiet chorus of "I" in a room so empty it practically echoed. And then you slinked back into the night. This is how power protects itself, with procedure, with timing, with the type of technical maneuvering that sounds boring enough that most people will tune it out. But they should not tune this out, not this time, because buried inside this particular procedural maneuver is something far more revealing than any speech on the Senate floor. It is surrender. John Thune, everybody. So read that whole article. John Reese finds it hilarious when Trump or the Republicans tried to challenge the 2020 or 22 elections. Judges said no standing, or latches applies, dismissed, or never even assigned a date for a hearing. But when the Democrats in Fulton County or the Democrats in California want to stop the criminal investigation of possible fraudulent ballots, the judge orders specific hearings and allows them to bring in experts with no expertise in this case whatsoever. Mike Lee reminds us the Senate GOP has exactly 2 options if it wants to avoid drifting into irrelevance in a stunning loss in November. 1, keep the filibuster and the 60-vote cloture rule fully intact, but stand ready to overcome Senate Democrats' unprecedented pattern of obstruction by aggressively enforcing the talking filibuster, a move that would require senators to work longer, harder hours and take fewer recesses, but lead to more thoughtful, careful deliberation in the legislative process. Or 2, nuke the filibuster. I strongly prefer the first option, Mike Lee says. But we must choose either one or the other because the status quo isn't working and the resulting inertia isn't just making it impossible to pursue coherent agenda, it's hurting the American people. What's your preference? Bill Maher has thoughts on the American economy.
I've asked this question so many weeks on this show, and I can never get an answer. I just don't understand the American economy. I really don't. I don't understand how there could be so much wealth, and I pay so much in taxes, and it doesn't seem to get to the people. Like, I don't even mind doing it. Well, over half, always, way over half. And yet it just, I never read about the homeless getting better, anything getting better, at least not in a city like this.
Yeah, Red Wave Press says Bill Maher is so close to figuring it out. We'll see. Bill Kristol, I believe you could call him a Trump hater. Pentagon is preparing for weeks of ground operations in Iran as thousands of soldiers and Marines arrive in the Middle East. He says this is a bad idea, but if it is to happen, I certainly shouldn't be without congressional authorization. So, Congress. We shall see. Group of Homeland Security shows us anti-rice rioters throwing chunks of concrete. DHS agents protecting the federal building in Los Angeles. Federal agents responded with tear gas to disperse the crowd. 1,000 rioters surround the Riobo Federal Building, LA. Rioters throwing rocks, bottles, cement blocks at offices. 2 officers hit with cement blocks are receiving medical care. LAPD was responding. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you for being here. We'll be back tomorrow at noon on the TNAM Daily Show. Rumble rant tips, super chat tips. If you want to drop something in the tip bucket on the way out, we have 2 days to surpass December as our lowest month on super chats on YouTube, while we have some great successes on Rumble and PayPal. Moved some merch. So if you want something, let me know. It's all in the show notes. If you want a mug or some coasters or a pin, our merch makes the world go around. I know many of you have those in your offices, in your homes. So I will cheers to you on our way out. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out and share the show. Take care. See you tomorrow. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.